Hi guys, hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. I would like today taking opportunity that I have some spare time just to make a video in reference to one that I've posted 2 or 3 months ago in regards to Esys launchers, because there are three things that changed, and this actually triggered me to create a follow-up video. First of all, many updates to solutions that I've covered in the video happened, so I think it's fair for all of the software developers to make it an update video, so you're not going to be basing your decision on the outdated information. So today's video is based on every solution being updated to the newest revision that is available to download. Obviously, this is all based on original licensing. I'm not using any cracked software or whatsoever. So this is I've purchased all solutions on my own, fair and square. Second topic that I need to clarify is the licensing, because in the previous video I've made some small but yet quite critical mistakes that I would like to straighten out. And thirdly, there was a knowledge gap that listening to your feedback, I think I need to gap actually within this video. Okay, so today I'm going to be starting with the simple table, then going into my comparison of how I use the tools, how I apply them to my daily work, and then I'm going to present the tools one by one, maybe not all of them, but just give you the main highlights that I really like on some things that I would like the solution would have, and what kind of main features work for me of each and every solution. Okay, starting off with this table, I split this into 5 sections: regular Esys, the launcher sections, BimmerCode, BimmerUtility, and Esys NeXt. So device-wise, those are using PC. BimmerUtility is also working on PC. BimmerCode, I think everybody knows, uses a smartphone, iOS, or Android device. And Esys NeXt, this is a solution based on cloud that is coming from the Esys X developers that they made after one of their team members passed away. So making it really clear how there is a way that you need to retrieve the data and write it back to the car. So in terms of Esys, this is for F, G, I, EU series, init or ICOM. For BimmerCode, you can use an OBD Bluetooth device adapter or init cable with external Ethernet or device that is compatible with USB-C that you can connect and configure to your mobile phone. It works much faster, but still, well, speed is a bit lacking in my books. And for the older chassis, you can use K plus D CAN cable and connect it through USB-A to USB-C if your phone is equipped with USB-C type of an adapter, and also use it for the older chassis. BimmerUtility, same init ICOM. This works quite well. And for Esys NeXt, this is a cloud solution, but well, you need to use once again Esys to retrieve and deliver or write back the changes that you've made to the coding or configuration of the car with. So now regular Esys, what you can do and what cannot be done with this solution when you're using this on your own. It all depends on the version number that you have, but coding and FDTL editing, let's just call it generally, this is something you cannot do with regular standalone software. Let's just leave it at this. For encoding, yes, you can do it. For programming, yes, you can do it. For FA and SV modding, let's say generally, yes, you can do it. But again, depending on what kind of version you're rocking, your mileage may vary. Diagnostic, in no means this is diagnostic software, so those features are not there. So just guys, something that I've made quite clear in my previous videos and over the course of time that I'm posting videos on my channel. Esys is a specialist software, engineering software made to modify and develop cars, and it's not something that, let's say, at the first glance is easy to use. Of course, once you know how to use it, it's not that difficult, but the entry level or how steep is the entry level, I would say it's quite steep. Launchers, they're also basing on Esys, but they're working as one. Once you enable or start launcher, it starts with Esys and it brings some extensions, additional features that a regular Esys is not, or Esys that is not connected to BMW backend cannot do. So first of all, you can do coding, FDL editing, encoding, programming, FA, SVT modding, obviously yes. Diagnostic, here, yes, if you consider reading and clearing out diagnostic trouble code, so errors. I consider this as a part of my diagnostics routine. So some of solutions like Ultra and Plus have this on board, but unfortunately, Token Master's launcher does not carry over any functionalities in reference to reading out and clearing mistakes. You can use the external applications to do so, but well, it's not embedded in the solution itself. Moving on to BimmerCode, I think everybody recognizes the name. It's an application available for iOS and Android devices. You can use your OBD, Ethernet, KT-CAN cable, as I mentioned. You can do coding. You can do custom coding with FDL editing. This is called their expert mode. No encoding, no programming, no FA, SVT modding, no diagnostics. Basically a really good solution if you do not want to learn anything, you just want to customize your car with just cosmetics or some functions that you want to enable. If you're considering updating modules, meaning programming, retrofitting, this won't do for you in many cases. BimmerUtility, this is a really nice tool that works quite well, and it's combining also Esys. And so you need to have two tools open to make to work this solution, or actually to make it work. So regular Esys and then BimmerUtility. You cannot do coding with this. You need to use Esys. And then you have FDL editing. Definitely, you can edit your files within this solution. Encoding, no. Regular Esys programming, no. And FA editing, definitely. SVT modding, no. Diagnostics, yes, it has the DTCs available as well. And Esys NeXt, it requires as BimmerUtility for Esys to be open, but it's not integrated anyway on your computer. So I think it's even a bit more difficult to use this solution if you do not Esys at all. So coding wise, definitely not. You need Esys, FDL editing, yes. Encoding, no. Programming, no. FA editing, yes. SVT modding, no. DTCs, well, let me just move it out. No, that's not applicable for this solution. So that's just a basic bunch of information that you can have about what is available currently on the market, what you can use today, and what can you apply towards your daily routine. So moving now to this big table, I'm not going to be covering this in every line and row, just giving you basic features. I think using the solution will give you much more understanding what it is and how it works. Okay, so what you need to understand, this is my personal view on how I see the solutions and my personal experience. Your mileage may vary, you might be having different opinion, but this is what I do. My business, let's say with BMW vehicles and bikes in general, is that I have 60% of clients that are working with me remotely and 40% on site. So this is my perspective, but if you have 100% on site, you might not be looking to reflect what I'm saying in this video. Of course, I'm trying to adjust it. Everybody has a different opinion and different application for this solution, but just be aware of this, and I want to make it clear that this is based on my opinion and my experience that I had with this all of the software that is shown here. So once again, just to reiterate, integrated in Esys Ultra Plus and Launcher. It is part of integration of Esys. BimmerUtility, BimmerCode. This is this is external on PC. This is external on smartphone, and Esys NeXt is working on your browser. All of the solutions are available for purchase with a different way how you pay for them. I'm not going to be covering Esys Expert anymore because you cannot purchase this. So for clarity, I own this solution. It has some great functionality, like ESN reset and FSC generator built-in, but I'm not going to be covering this anymore. So let's hide it for now. Price may vary with Esys NeXt. You do not have a, let's say, fixed price for any kind of solution. You're buying credits, tokens for work that you need to perform, what you need to perform to do. Or I'm not sure if there is any let's say plan available that you can purchase for the full month. I have not been working with this solution that much, to be honest, because from my perspective, it's too much of a hassle, especially if you have other solutions like available on the market. It's not a bad solution, but again, I'm quite impatient person, and I'm hasting everything and trying to be as efficient as possible. So I know working with a cloud solution is definitely not my cup of tea. High-level mapping, Ultra works with for now. And guys, don't get me. As I said, this is what I've been saying at the very beginning of this video. This is as of today, and what I can see, BimmerUtility is extremely fast with creating their mapping updates. Ultra is just there, not as frequent, but those are published, let's say, once a month at least, or maybe twice, depending on the release schedule of the developer. Then we have Esys NeXt. Those guys are working quite well, as hasty as well. This is what I saw on their website. Then we have Plus that is updated, unfortunately, once a year, and this is becoming a problem because right now they're getting heavily outdated in terms of the CAFT mapping, and Launcher is also updated quite frequently. So, well, cannot say about the word here about any of those solutions outside of Esys Plus and the release plan. Esys compatible, so here 335 and up. This is Esys Plus is only using 336, BimmerCode 336 and up. Launchers 335 and up. So basically quite comparable, but again, Esys Plus is left behind because it's not supporting the newest version, which is, I think, right now Esys 22.06, because they just changed naming scheme. So license validity. Everything is lifetime, what you see here. So for Ultra Plus, BimmerUtility, and BimmerCode, in Esys NeXt, maybe there is some sort of plan, but you're paying for usage. And then we have Launcher with 3 years license validity. But this solution, I think, is the cheapest when you consider any kind of plan. So, well, I don't think it's a bad deal anyways, because I think it's 50 euros, and for rest is basically double that, depending what you really need. License log, Ultra Plus, BimmerUtility are tying to your hardware key. So basically, if you change anything in your computer, the license will be revoked. And for BimmerCode, this is tied to your iOS or Google account, so you can switch as many phones as you like, but you need to use the same account on those phones, and this will work. Esys NeXt, well, it's a cloud solution, so log in, pay for it, and use it. And launcher uses Google Authenticator, or lately there was adding an USB key solution that you can tie your license to and just switch between the computers. I think this is also quite nice if you have multiple computers connected to the cars and you're jumping between, because with Authenticator, I believe you can only use two instances of the solution at once. So again, for remote work in my applications, if I need to have really solution for some particular difficult cases on site, installed on somebody's computer, this is helping me a lot. So for me, huge benefit. License reactivation, to make it really clear. In the previous video, I said you can reactivate it on the new computer. Here, no, that's something that I need to scratch off and say it out loud. If you replace your hard drive or a solid state drive, then you can ask developer to reactivate the license for you. But if your motherboard, anything else changes, you need to repurchase this. So Plus is even worse, because if you change even the configuration in your BIOS, or you add, I don't know, USB drive or some kind of a card to your computer, memory card to your computer, then it's really pain in the ass, to be honest, when it comes with this licensing. So here, definitely a problematic one. BimmerUtility, HDD, SSD change. You can request, but again, if you change anything else in your computer, then you need to repurchase the solution, or if you change the computer at all, you need to repurchase the solution. BimmerCode in reference to accounts, this is not applicable. Esys NeXt same, and launcher, since you can use Google Authenticator PIN or USB key, is not tied to any kind of hardware lock. So if you possess the key or the PIN, then you can log into this solution. So again, everything has its cons and pros, but here in my case, I think this is all fair. License verification in Ultra, it happens periodically, so periodically you need to have access to internet. For Plus, this is every launch. BimmerUtility periodically. BimmerCode, I think it does it periodically. Esys NeXt, again, you need to be permanently connected to internet, because you need to have access to their www site. And here you have PIN USB key, so if you have it, no problem. To activate, you don't have to be connected to internet if you have a USB key. Updates free over there, seamless. Open the solution, it will update. BimmerUtility, same story, very nice. And those guys are posting their updates pretty frequently. BimmerCode, as any other app on your device, once you update this through your App Store or iStore, or App Store, it works well. Esys NeXt, www. We can skip it. Launcher, you need to download the software, install this with an installer, 2 minutes, really nice, but maybe one day over the air installations will be there. But now let's come to stability and on-site work. For me, Ultra and Plus work well. For BimmerUtility, works really well, sometimes with ICOM support. It's not there yet, so therefore 4 plus, but I think it's just a minor details that they need to fix it, and this is gonna be perfect. On-site works outside of rather this solution being quite slow and not giving the flexibility that I would like to have. In many cases, it's a 4 out of 5. Esys NeXt is just in www. So I'm gonna be skipping this if it's an A, just for the sake of time. Launcher, on-site work, no problems whatsoever. Remote sites of things, so this is quite important for me. Ultra Plus working quite well. For BimmerUtility, let's say backup, making backups of FSCs and overall car configuration crashes the solution. So, well, I think there needs to be some corrections applied to it. Not a big deal, but if they can work on this, that would be perfect. Not a huge deal breaker, but still, for me, it happens every time that I try to read out FSCs from the car and backup them remotely or backup the car. For BimmerCode, not applicable. You need to always have a car in front of yourself. And for launcher, no problem, works quite well. as anything that is integrated with Esys. Speed-wise, Ultra, no comparison, the fastest one, Plus works quite well, but not as well and not as fast as Ultra. For BimmerUtility, just please remember that utility does not have all the features that other solutions based on Esys have, but if we consider the speed of the solution, it works really fast. It's really nice. For me, it's 4 plus. If SVT editing would be there, this would be perfect, but this is not something in regards to speed. If it's an on-site work, it's 5, but if I consider on-site, it takes some time or few retries for the solution to work, but not a problem. BimmerCode works quite slow, especially on the Bluetooth. It's really painfully slow in my opinion. So, and I think they cannot do anything about this. As I mentioned, you can use Ethernet cable that speeds up things a bit. So I really recommend this solution if you're an impatient guy like me. Launcher, well, it's like a regular Esys, I might say. Not a big problem. Works quite well. I think now we can exclude databases from it, so I think it can speed up working of the launcher, but cannot say a bad word. It could be as fast as Ultra, but it works well. FA editor for Ultra, it looks almost with some additional features like stock, same for Plus. BimmerUtility, this is absolutely fantastic. Their FA editor, I love it. Well, if this should be, let's say, industry standard. If you ask me, BimmerCode does not offer such functionality. Esys NeXt works quite well. I cannot say a bad word about this. If you can take the pain of uploading something to WW site and editing everything through your browser, it's worth it. But for me, again, too much time consumption in the whole process. Launcher, basically like a stock FA editor. Not that many things that you can do there. For CAF and CD editor, again, Ultra is very nice. Plus, due to the mapping, there are some problems for me. BimmerUtility, once again, 5 out of 5. In BimmerCode, you can do this in expert mode. It's very time consuming and again rather slow. So take it with a grain of salt. You can do it, but question mark if you should. If you don't, if you're just looking for enabling some few lines in coding, I think that's gonna be just fine. But if you need to change, I don't know, 20 or 30, then good luck with this. It's gonna take you a while, and hopefully you won't have any mistakes in your coding. Esys NeXt. It does not have any editor on site, but then you need to upload this to maybe that's not an A. I have never used it, so I won't be judging this. My apologies here for NA, but it's there. Just check them out. Maybe that's something you will like. And Launcher has some additional and fantastic functionality that Token Master moved into this solution. And I will briefly show you this as well. File organization, something that really helps me, like naming of FAs, organizing my backups, and here Ultra is just best in class. Plus is following this up. BimmerUtility, once on-site works, this is also really great, and I will show you this in a moment. But for on-site work, I'm just getting half of the point from here, so 2 or 4 plus. BimmerCode, not really working. It backups your solution, but it backups your NCDs and CAFDs, but it does not perform really any organization that you can manage. Esys NeXt, well, maybe hard for me to also give you a full overview once you upload this to their cloud. Then it's there, but I'm not willing really to go back to my browser every time that I need to check or modify anything. So just simply cloud is not for me. I'm not saying it's a bad solution, don't get me wrong, but it's simply not something that I would go for. For file organization, sorry, this is once again my mistake, but for me, maybe even not, because it does not offer anything. Everything is manual. You need to retrieve and back up the whole car manually. When we go to support, I've been in a few times in contact with developer, really cool guy, helped me with few things. I think that cooperation with him is great. Esys Plus, well, those guys are not responding from one mail every 3 months in my view, so not that great. At least they're responding. BimmerUtility, Rob, very cool guy. He's also help me with understanding few things, and we had at the very beginning some nice conversation on how the solution could look like. And I think that really, I'm not saying definitely that I influence it, don't get me wrong, but I think that this solution is going in a really nice way to compete with BimmerCode at one point. Support, I had one issue, I'd say 3 years, or maybe 2.5 years ago with the solution. Those guys come back to me really quick. Esys NeXt, well, not using this, so once again, maybe not an NA, but simply I do not know how those guys are responding. For Token Master, I'm sorry, but I know he rebuilt his software, his site. He seems to be a bit more responsive, but I had some issues that I could not simply run the launcher. It was not accepting my PIN. Something was simply wrong. I've sent emails, 3 or 4, no response till now. I figured this one on my own, but well, I think if you have any trouble with the solution, based at least on my experience, don't count on Token Master helping you out. And for future with secure coding 2.0 and 3.0, none of the solutions are working with this. DTC errors, it's a huge thing for me. I do not really like to wait for ISTA to read out, clear out mistakes and errors and so on. So Esys Ultra has it, Plus has it, BimmerUtility has it, BimmerCode doesn't have it, Esys NeXt doesn't have it, and Launcher, outside of using or installing something externally, does not work with DTCs. So shame. Hopefully this will come at one point. For backup of FA, SVT, and CAFT, it's fully automated with Ultra, and it's really nicely organized. Well, this is here industry standard. For me, this is how all of the solutions should work. Plus, also quite nice, not as nice as Ultra. BimmerUtility, also quite nice, but it missing a few features that I would like to see from Ultra. If they could adopt this from BimmerCode, it just backups your original NCD CAFT, so you can restore it if something goes wrong. And in some cases, you cannot restore it, then you need basically Esys to fix your problems. Well, it's a smartphone solution, so some things might go south with this at one point. Esys NeXt, not really working here with any backups. And with Launcher, this is fully manual. Additional features, just read it through. I will show you that using the solution themselves when I'm going to be reviewing them. And for the cheat sheets, I would say it's available everywhere. The cheat pre-configured once they're there. And obviously for BimmerCode, those are pre-configured. For some of the solutions, this is pre-configured as well, but you can also create your own with the cheat sheet makers or adopt ones that are on the GitHub, so you can leverage some of the work that was done in the past. Okay, so now let's start with Ultra. So let me get it out. This is Ultra, here we go. Okay, this is a bit too big. So here you have a function that I absolutely love. This is the DTC clearing ability. Okay, I think my car just died, so it will be reading this for a few minutes or a few seconds. but you can clear your codes extremely easily. Here you have NCD comparison capabilities and button that I absolutely love. This is the full backup of the car that I would like to really show you right now. Let it work with NCD. So I'm going to go to my backup folder, and it organizes everything in a really nice way. So I give my chassis designation and IC VIN number, and then every time I read out the car or make a backup, when I hit this button, it creates, okay, let's go back, such folder, and it organizes NCD, clearly name what is what, so you do not have to think how BCD is named, how combi is made, and so on. And lately, with a new update, also the DTC report, so whatever you read out of the car is also stored, so you do not have to use e-sys now to do the first readout from the car, and just to cover this solution does this for you automatically. So now this is the DTC. You can copy all the DTCs as you just showed to text or a file, clear codes. Really efficient, really function that I was looking forward. I'm really happy that it's there. What is also extremely nice, when I save my FA, it already gives it a proper naming. So again, I do not have a mess in my setup folder, so everything is clearly named and marked. Same if I go for SVT, extremely nice organization, top notch. Cannot say a bad word about this. NCD available here. Comparison, if you use a WinMerge, you can export it to WinMerge, or you can use this solution, just to compare your NCD files. And what else you can see, if, for example, if you look at the SVT window, so the keys database names of the ECUs are shown in here. Of course, this is in German, but if you don't know what it is, you can translate. But basically, if you're working with the BMWs, you should be just fine with abbreviations for those. But here, if you go, for example, to universal charging extension, it also gives you a clear identification of what is an application, what is bootloader, what is the hardware number, and so on and so on. So again, it's excelling your work quite well. For me, this is I'm very happy to have it. This is not important, but especially if you're starting with working on cars, this is really nice to have. If you go to FA editor, let me just pick out on one of the files, this one. Then let's go to Salpa elements. Let's say quite standard. You can maybe not as bone stock Esys, but here you have some codes, equipment codes that you can work with. Salpa, HO words and E words if you want to work with them. Not the best, in my opinion. BimmerUtility is much better, but here it's there, and I'm happy it's there. So overall, everything else works as a standard Esys, but for me this is extremely fast. The name Ultra really stands behind the solution, because reading out SVT verification or CAP verification works really extremely fast. Even TAR calculation is working extremely fast. So I'm really happy how it works. So now let's do something else for you guys to understand what is BimmerCode, or sorry, BimmerUtility. So this is the BimmerUtility. It's connected to your Esys, and I will show you how. I will use for a moment. How can I use it? Or maybe let me just give it a try. I will go to FDL editor. Okay, I have something here. Let me just change something. Okay, bad idea. Something else. Okay, not much. Maybe something that I've already worked with. Okay, here. Okay, let's do it. Let's change it to 0 and let's save it. So as you see, if I read something with Esys, the BimmerUtility intercepts this and asks me, hey, I recognize new CAFT file in your folders. Would you like to edit? Let me hit yes. And it's already here. So this is the same view that we just saw in Esys. You have ability to change it, to which view you like. You have some pre embedded cheat sheets that you can work with. Are really nice. Same solution, I think. What I forgot to mention is also available here. Let me just reload this. So you have the and once again, embedded cheat sheets available in Esys Ultra as well. And then basically I can save this and then go back to Esys to send my changes to the car. And also these count files that are read out from the car are visible in here. You have tons of them. Unfortunately, you need to browse one by one or drag and drop to FDL editor because you can have hundreds and hundreds of them. FA editor can be read out of directly from a car, modified here, and then you can I say, and then it can be written back to the car. Oh, well, really nice and simple solution. Cheat sheet editor. So once again, if you're working with a KFD file, you can create something, some cheat sheets for yourself if this is some work that you do extremely common or extremely frequent. DTC codes, read out, clear, and save. Very nice, very simple. You do not have to even think, okay, which one is from BDC. It's clearly marked out. Very similar to what you see in Esys Ultra, but again, really glad to have it. NCD compare, whatever you prefer, you can change the orientation. It works really fast and nice. Backup functionality, organization quite well, but I've tried to read out a car and through remote work. It just read out those 3 files, unfortunately. FSCs, once I hit backup or refresh the on remote work, this crashes. On-site works perfectly fine. Help, guides, release notes, and settings. So I'm not going to be going through those. I can only say that this solution is being very frequently updated and supported. It's a standalone solution that you can do a lot of things as I just shown you with it, but then you need a regular Esys or Esys launcher to send it out back to the car. So all the changes will be recorded within the vehicle. Okay, let's move back. We covered Ultra, BimmerUtility, BimmerCode. There are tons and tons of movies and clips on YouTube that you can view how the solution looks. And now I would like to go to a launcher really quick. So here is launcher. Lately, the abbreviations of the modules and the naming of the particular items within the module also have been added. Very nice feature. The main outstanding feature that I like about Token Masters that he integrated NCAFD tool or whatever was the name into the Esys. So there are some functionalities that you have only available right now in here, and those are working quite well. You do not have any DTCs, and unfortunately, you need to do everything manually. If you want to back up your FA, SVT, you need to name it properly with Vim. Not a big problem if you have time. Again, I'm impatient. If this does not bother you, a nice solution for me. My biggest pain point is that it does not have any DTC clearing features. Of course, you can add here transmitter and use it. Not a big problem, but for me, it should be here without, as a basic feature of the solution, not something that end user should be adding by his or herself. FA editor, so maybe let's go to editors. Let's see how it works here, just to give you an idea. Let's go. Okay, this is a bike. Works quite well. But then I do not have any abilities to see what is 6AC, 6AE, especially if I don't know that much about bikes. It's really hard to understand what is what. So, well, I think an FA editor should be updated or actually improved a bit. But otherwise, I really love that this is not tied to my computer and I can really install this on my customer's computer and perform actually what is effectively a remote job, that my computer is on site and I can work on this in a different manner that I need to work with, for example, Esys Ultra or Esys Plus. This gives me a bit more flexibility. So that would be it about launcher. Maybe I can close off the solutions. You can see how those are being actually starting. So let's get this one out of the way. So for Ultra, this is your launcher console. You can set up as many Esys versions as you like. You can exclude the databases that you're not using very frequently or commonly. Some global settings. The version that I'm currently, the main page that we just saw, settings. And if you want, you can create a shortcut. So as you is basically if I want to 20 to 6 the newest. So again, I do not have to go through console. I can just double click on those and I can again save time. For launch or BimmerUtility, let's just go with this order. You just double click and I have it set up to load it into my taskbar. I need to double click and it's there. And obviously you can, and maybe once, if I'm gonna go to settings, here is what else you can set up, and as well you can set up if Esys should be open at launch at the same time once you click BimmerUtility, or however you would like to set it up. I have it. I want to open Esys whenever I please, but not always with a solution. So just for your information. And here we're gonna go to Launcher Pro. And here you have also a nice library of your Esys versions. Here is your cheat sheets from the GitHub already pre-installed. You can select the databases, and here you can check for updates and download if something else is newer. And basically, you can enroll to your security or sign out and then use your authenticator to sign back in. Very simple. For Esys Plus, and maybe let's cover this solution at last. So only 336.2 Esys database from July 22. Launch Esys, and let's cover the functionality of that system as well. Now let's really quickly run through Esys Plus. So in regular course of things, for coding, if you have an FA here, read out from the car, during the first readout, it automatically saves for you. If you're reading out the SVT file, also it automatically makes a original copy and backup of this, and same of NCD CAF files. So let's quickly go back to show you how more or less it looks like. So let's go to data folder, FA. So it stores it in such manner, chassis designation and 7 last digits of the VIN number. Let's go to SVT. Here it goes. And I do not have I believe anymore, any CAF backups, since this is coming from Ultra. But what it does, it also gives you the same designation of the, let's say, F10 and 7 digits, and it slaps all the CAFD files from that car in one folder. So your backup is there. It's very nice, but it's not as nice as Esys Ultra, or you may even say BimmerUtility. When we go back to the solution itself, you have some additional features, some general options, compare and CD, built-in, DTC, clearing and reading, a feature that I especially liked and still like about this tool. And for FA editor and viewer, let's just open something up. Okay, let's go. And then it's a bit nicer than the stock Esys, but well, Esys Ultra relevant in comparison, but nothing beats currently BimmerUtility in my opinion. So let's stop here, not to make this video too long, because there are certain functionalities that I'm not going to be going or deep diving into, because Esys is, let's say, we can talk about this for days, and what we can do and how we can do it, and what other functionalities are there that we're not going to be covering in this video, but just for the basics. So let's round it up and give you my, let's say, final opinion about the solution. First of all, I highly appreciate that we have an option that we can choose, options that we can choose from. So competition is always nice, and it's propelling the creation of functionality and updating of eye level mapping. So really happy to have it. My view on the all of the solution is based on the work that I do. So whatever you most probably have taken this away, Esys NeXt, not my cup of tea. So basically this is how it looks like. Then you have some additional functions here. You can also purchase CarPlay, FSCs, and so on here by license or KFD updates. So this is how it looks. This is just a regular cloud version WW page that you can work with if you please. It's a nice solution, but if you want to use it, you're not a frequent user, you do not want to purchase something for good, you want to stick with this, not a problem. For me, that's simply not the way that I like to do. BimmerCode, well, if I need to do something extremely fast, or I just open up my phone and just do one particular coding because my computers are occupied, it can do it, but this is never my choice, even though that it's extremely easy to use, but it takes a lot of time to load it up. So that's my biggest problem. And if I have some FA work or diagnostic also needs to be performed, again, not something that I would use. A perfectly good solution for novice users that would like to code their BMWs. No doubt about this. Congratulations to developers of this solution, because they executed their target, I think, extremely well. But here we're looking at let's say, a bit more from a perspective of intermediate user of Esys and up. So now, if we covered everything else that is, let's say, based on smartphones and cloud, I can compare Ultra Plus, BimmerUtility, and Launcher. So how I work on a regular basis is with those three solutions: Ultra, Launcher, and BimmerUtility. I love BimmerUtility because I can simply open this, and you know that if you have full databases, it takes a while for this solution to open up. With BimmerUtility, I click if I want to edit my FA really fast, if I want to perform some changes in a CAFD file that I have it there, I can just bang, go here, open it up, look for it, FA edition, DTC clearing, and CD comparison. Simple and fast. For DTC clearing and codes, I simply do not open e-style anymore that often, because I can, for the first glance, I can open this one and bang, it's there. So for me, extremely important tool, and I'm using this on a everyday basis. And then I use two other solutions. Ultra, which is my tool of choice when it comes to integrated solutions. It has everything that BimmerUtility do and much more for SVT comparison, for card comparison, verification, coding verification, everything that is requiring me to really work on a car. If I work with a retrofit, if I work with some modules that are used and needs to be coded to the car, then definitely this is my tool of choice when it comes to everyday job with Esys integrated tool. I also like Token Masters Launcher because it's not tied to my hardware, and I can download this on my customer's computer, log it in, and then work really on site through any kind of remote desktop, and be much more efficient for really some specific or difficult cases that my computer would need to be on site, or I need to travel to customers' locations to perform some tasks that that cannot be, due to multiple reasons, performed due to remote desktop. I was really a huge fan of Plus solution, but then there was not many choices, especially after Esys X was discontinued. It does the work really good. It's not the best solution due to the fact it does not support new SSs. License reactivation is not there. You need to be constantly connected to, maybe not constantly, during the launch of the system, you need to be connected to internet to get the license verification, and updates are paid. And especially if the updates are coming once a year, then you need to pay for them. Then again, I have it and I sometimes still use it, especially if I need to work on older version of Esys. But if I would be holding money and looking for a solution that would be covering my needs, definitely that would be some looking at the minuses of the solution. I would not be considering this. Again, for regular user, if you have it, you're working this, you're not in my shoes, then it's going to be working fine for you. At the very end, I would like to congratulate every niche developer for putting and pouring their heart and effort into making those solutions work. I can highly appreciate it. I do not want to say which one is the best, which one you should get. This is something that you need to assess, maybe with my move, maybe browsing on some forums, talking to some people that are within the coding community. But from my view, from my 60-40 split of remote versus on-site job, and being very impatient and needing to have everything at my disposal right away. And as you can see, I have a lot of those solutions purchased over the course of time. Then I would be really thankful that we have seen that's very actively working and developers that are trying to cover the needs of their users. So at this stage, I would say think it through. Think what you do on everyday basis. Think if coding is something for you, and decide. But please, also appreciate those guys and buy original license. Just as a final remark, don't go for Esys 3.30 with Token Master Launcher 2.2, Esys Plus 3.8, or Esys Launcher 3.4. Though this software is highly outdated, if you want to use the newest mapping solution that is, guaranteed to work properly with the newest e-sys and gratify the developers at the very end, because the work that is basically allowing you to perform your work should be gratified. And at this stage, I would say final thank you for you guys for watching this, for developers for developing of the solutions, and good luck with your business. Good luck with your BMWs if you're working on your own cars. Take care. Have a great rest of the Sunday. Bye bye.